You need to stop mothering your man. It's turning him off, it's pissing you off, and it's hurting your relationship. He doesn't want it, and you don't want to do it, so quit it. I'm Amanda, a busy, full-time working mom, and I teach women like you how to thrive in your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Stop mothering your man. Now, I know it sounds like I'm about to confiscate his video games and send him to bed early, but trust me, this is about a lot more than just household responsibilities, and you probably know it. Or maybe you don't. It's entirely possible that you're so deep into it and that you don't even see it anymore, but that's okay. We're going to talk about how to overcome it so you're both happier and frankly, more attracted to each other, and who doesn't want that? Mothering your man is like snuffing out the flame in your once burning hot romance and watching it slowly burn out. It's not about just making sure that he picks up his socks or remembers to take out the trash. It's about preserving the dynamic of mutual respect and attraction that's vital for any healthy romantic partnership, and it's a really big deal. And so, as things often do on this channel, it all comes down to feminine versus masculine energy and the polarity of the two in a healthy relationship. Before we get into it, it's crucial to understand the fundamental differences in desires between men and women, because men, by nature, they seek respect and competence within their relationships, and they desire acknowledgement of their capabilities and efforts, craving an environment where their contributions are really valued. And on the other hand, women deeply long to feel desired and cherished. They seek emotional connection and affection and the reassurance of being deeply appreciated for exactly who they are. Recognizing and honoring these distinct needs form the cornerstone of a fulfilling partnership, and achieving harmony in relationships necessitates a delicate balance between the feminine and the masculine energy. And like I've talked about on this channel a lot before, it's not about one overpowering the other, but rather about complementing and harmonizing these two energies to cultivate a mutual understanding and fulfillment. And when both partners embrace their authentic selves, expressing their masculinity or femininity without reservation, it creates a dynamic of synergy that fuels the relationship's strength and fosters attraction for both partners, the masculine and the feminine. But when you're mothering your man, and don't worry, we're about to get into exactly what that looks like and how to put an end to it, but I needed to lay this foundational info first. You're not in your feminine energy when you're mothering your man, that is. And his masculine energy becomes wounded since mothering specifically and directly attacks his masculine desire to be acknowledged for his capabilities and his efforts. Now, in order to fix the mothering behavior, you have to be able to first identify it. And you're probably aware of it if you are mothering your man and exactly what that looks like, but maybe you're not. If you notice yourself always taking the reins and making decisions for both of you and basically running the show, you're probably mothering your man. It's like you're playing the role of the all-knowing mom guiding every step of the way. And look, I get it, because sometimes it's hard to trust your man's judgment or to think that we know better, right? Because as women with fantastic intuition, we're pretty dang smart and we want to help and we want to make his life easier because we care about him. And often mothering, it does come from a good place. It's not like we want to feel like this. It's not like we want to make him feel like this, but because we just get kind of lost and hung up in the helping that it actually kind of does more damage than we think it will. So you end up hovering and double checking everything he does, from picking out his outfit to managing his workload and making sure he never forgets anything important. Plus there's this urge to constantly prove your worth by doing everything for him, almost like saying, look, I'm Superwoman, I've got this. I mean, how many of us unknowingly ended up with wounded feminine energy from this very exact behavior? But here's the thing, constantly swooping in to save the day can actually create tension and imbalance in the relationship. So if you catch yourself doing these things, it might be time to take a step back and reassess how you're showing up in the relationship. In summary, the common indicators of mothering behavior are an inclination towards control, where you assume a dominating role in decision making and micromanaging him and or the relationship. And this behavior often stems from a lack of trust in your partner's abilities and judgment, leading to an environment in the relationship of suffocation and dependency. And you're probably hearing that and you're like, ooh, that sounds terrible. And it can come from a good place, but it can also be pretty harmful. So the most important thing is to be aware of it and then to recognize and make adjustments from here. It's also the desire to prove your value through caretaking. And the desire to prove your value through caretaking can manifest in overbearing gestures that, whether you mean for it to or not, you probably don't, but that's besides the point. It does point out his incompetence, whether or not he is actually perfectly capable or not. The fact is that these are red flags that you need to pay attention to and work on to foster a healthier, more sexy dynamic within the relationship. And I'm gonna quickly pause here to point out that mothering and nurturing are not the same. Nurturing is like sprinkling love and support on your partner. Very feminine. It's about being there for him, cheering him on, and offering a shoulder to lean on when times get tough. It's all about fostering an environment of care and understanding where both of you feel really valued and appreciated. Very feminine, very masculine. Whereas mothering looks more like taking charge of every little detail, from what he eats for breakfast to how he organizes his sock drawer. Let me tell you, my husband's sock and boxers drawer is a disaster. And every time I put laundry away, I'm like, how do you live like this? And I used to reorganize it every single week. Now I don't care. I throw the socks in, I throw the boxers in. He doesn't care. He probably doesn't notice the difference back from when I would organize it when I don't. I don't feel like mild resentment for the fact that I organize this every week and he doesn't care. He doesn't care, so why should I? It's not my sock drawer. Or maybe even how he should handle issues at work. It's like you're running a one-woman show with him as the helpless sidekick, like a helpless toddler. And I don't know about you, but I already have 2 of those, and I do not need to treat my husband like one too. While nurturing comes from a place of love and support, mothering tends to stem from more of a place of control and a need to micromanage, like you're trying to mold him into the perfect partner rather than appreciate him for the amazing man that he is. Which, by the way, is what a masculine man needs from his feminine partner. It's like finding that sweet spot between being his rock and giving him the space to be his own person that you fully accept as is. So now that we've talked about why mothering is not good for your man, now it's time to talk about you and why it's not good for you to be mothering your man either. Because I'm here for you. I'm here for the ladies. I'm not here to teach women how to be a better woman for their husbands. I mean, that kind of happens like as a byproduct, but I'm here to make women happier and feel more aligned. So let's get into that part because it's the most important. And you probably already guessed it, we're talking about feminine energy again. Yay! It's my favorite topic, and it might seem like I look for any excuse to talk about it, but really, it's just that it really is what almost everything seems to come down to in our lives, which shouldn't actually be surprising since our literal essence as a predominantly feminine energy driven person. So, as it relates to mothering, embracing your feminine energy in a relationship is like tapping into your superpower. We know this, it's beautiful. It's about being that calming presence, that soft place to land for your partner. Instead of trying to control every situation, it's about trusting that your partner's got this, and if they don't, you'll figure it out together, or he'll suffer the consequences and learn and he'll be fine. And that kind of dynamic is exactly what your feminine energy needs in order to be nurtured. So lean back, relax, and let your feminine energy shine. Focus on nurturing yourself and pursuing your own passions and radiating that irresistible energy that drew your partner to you in the first place. When you embrace your feminine energy, you create a dynamic in your relationship that's balanced, harmonious, and pretty sexy. So now let's get into some practical tips for steering clear of that mothering territory. And first of all, you need to establish clear responsibilities in your relationship, because when both partners know what's expected of them, it helps prevent that overbearing behavior and unnecessary friction. Plus, it reduces the chances of resentment building up over time. This concept has actually been game-changing in my marriage. My husband never has to think about what's for dinner because I'm just always in charge of it. And sure, sometimes I make the executive decision that he's picking up sushi on the way home. But the point is, it's not something he can ever drop the ball on because it's my ball. It's not about the fact that I have to cook dinner from scratch every night. It's just about that's on my brain, it's not on his. And we both know that and respect it. And likewise, I never have to roll out the garbage cans on garbage day. I don't even need to know what day trash pickup is because I've wiped my hands clean of that. And because there's never this back and forth of should I or should he, there's never a discussion about garbage, which is not something I ever care to talk about ever in my life. He just does it and I don't even have to think about it. And I certainly don't have to remind him to do it like I have to remind my kids to put their dirty clothes in the hamper twice a day. Next is to give each other space to pursue your own interests and hobbies. Because independence is sexy and personal growth is sexy and supporting each other's individual pursuits is sexy. And bonus points if these individual pursuits get you out of the house. Because remember, absence makes the heart grow fonder. My husband never wants me more than after he's come back from a guy's weekend. And if you think about it, you've probably recognized this in your own life too. And finally, learn to receive help graciously and appreciate your partner's efforts. Avoid the temptation to jump in with unsolicited advice or criticism, and instead acknowledge and value your partner's contributions. It'll go a really long way in fostering a supporting and loving connection. Because as women, we can tend to be a little bit controlling. And some of us, I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I really like things done in an exact particular way that I prefer. But I learned a long time ago that nagging my husband to do things the way that I want them done is not worth the consequence of us having that mothering dynamic. It's a really freeing way to live, actually. And as we wrap up, remember that maintaining a balanced relationship dynamic is crucial for fostering mutual respect and attraction. Next, I recommend this video all about 10 tiny micro habits about getting into your feminine energy that are totally doable, even if you're a really busy gal with all kinds of masculine demands in your life. That's kind of the whole point of it. And now I'd love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts and experiences with mothering in the comments below. Your insights could really help someone else in this community on their own journey to a healthier relationship. I look forward to talking to you next time, and thank you so much for being here. Be sure to stay subscribed for more videos about embracing your feminine energy and living the life of your dreams. Stay aligned.